Joining me now is New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you for being here. You all did your work in the House. Now it's up to the Senate. But listen to this pushback from Ron Johnson and others. What do you make of it?
Oh, well, I disagree with them. I mean, I think we've got to learn to compromise here a little bit. This debt that has grown. This has been a booze cruise nonstop for many years. You are not going to turn that ship around on a dime. There are a lot of cuts in this. We are making sure, and this is really important, Maria, as the Republican Party moves forward, both from a public policy aspect and also, quite frankly, politics. We're a new populist Republican Party that's been ushered in with the election of President Trump. We have a lot of working people, a lot of people that depend on some of these programs. So where there was waste and fraud and abuse and a whole host of other things going on, and all of the stupidity that the Democrats put in place, no doubt that those areas should be cut. But if you cut it to the bone and you hurt people, you're also going to hurt our chances for future re-elections and to ensure that really bad things don't happen.
I mean, did we see this kind of pushback from Republicans when Joe Biden and the Democrats were spending $7 trillion in the last administration? To see this kind of fraction, within the Senate is concerning. The markets, the economy, all depending on this big, beautiful bill. And they've got a deadline, which is, by the way, 40 days away, is July 4th.
They've got to get their act together, and they've got to get this done. And, on the one hand, and I respect them, but Senator Paul says, well, I believe in the tax cuts, and I believe in the things that the president wants to do. But you've also got to pay for them. We're not only going to cut our way out of this problem. We have to grow our way out of the problem. And that's what this bill does. We need to increase energy production. We need to increase and fuel our economy. And we can do all of that. And we can grow our way out of it if we don't destroy the work that's already been done.
I think this is a really important point that you just made. And Tiana, I want you to jump in on this, because that's what some of these senators are missing. The growth that is going to come out of this bill and the execution of some of these new policies. You're talking about 4% plus growth, which is what Kevin Hassett is expecting. He told us that last week.
So we know that Kevin Hassett was saying this would be deficit neutral so long as you achieve that 3% growth rate. But I am curious, we do want to grow our way out. But we also increased spending on not a populist tax cut, but quadrupling that SALT deduction goes majority to millionaires in blue states. The Senate map doesn't have that same incentive structure to undo one of the most monumental parts of the original 2017 TCJA. And then also you talk about this new populist Republican Party. Does that mean that we can't impose work requirements sooner than the end of 2026 on Medicaid for able-bodied childless men? What about defunding Medicaid for illegal immigrants? Why do we have to wait on overturning the Biden Green New scam?
So can I answer that? We already did do that. In that bill, we are defunding any money that will go to illegal immigrants. In that bill, there are work requirements that make sense. In that bill, in order to re-enroll, we went back to what it always was every 6 months, so we don't have people who are illegally on the books. You're right. We've done that. I agree with you, and those are the good things that were done. So it is a new party in that we also are appealing to a much broader base of people, but at the same time, we must make sure we're fiscally sound. There's a good center point here. There's a good point that we can work from, what I would call the sweet spot, and I think we found that in the House bill. Now, when it comes to SALT, I have no problem with a little bit of a lower number. Here's the reality. Got to get the bill done. Here's the reality. You've got people in the House that are going to have really tight elections. Nobody wants to talk about this stuff, but I will. And they are going to need to get reelected, or else we're going to have a Democratic majority in the House of Representatives. And if you want to see spending, you're going to see spending like you have never, ever in your life seen before.
Right. That's absolutely right. I understand what you're saying. I also understand the idea that this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to actually cut into the $37 trillion in debt that this country faces. But again, your colleagues in the Senate are not putting the growth story as a focus. Here's Kevin Hassett, chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors, with me here just last week. Watch this.
Well, what's going to happen is there are going to be a lot of trade deals, and there's going to be clarity on the tax cuts, and then firms are going to lift off. But think about it. Even before that happened, we're getting really strong jobs numbers. First quarter capital equipment investment was north of 20%, one of the best quarters ever, because all of America knows that the golden age is coming, and we got to start building stuff before everybody else gets in front of us. And so I think that you're going to look at a second half of the year that's way, way north of 3%, probably north of 4%, to give us one of the better years we've ever had. Because even with the uncertainty that you talk about, that I've written widely about over the last 25 years, even with that uncertainty, we've got strong jobs numbers and strong investment. And so once the uncertainty is lowered, then a liftoff from there is really going to be something to see.
I mean, that liftoff is, according to Kevin Hass, it's going to be significant. We'll get another window into all this stuff, the macro story this week when we get new home sales, PCE, durable goods, and a number of other, we've got retail earnings as well, Congressman. But what is your reaction to what you just heard from Kevin Hassett?
He's right on the money. Wait till you see where we're going to be a year from now. Yeah. It's going to be a whole different story. Unless the Senate doesn't get this bill done the right way, then we're going to have problems. They could put in a lot of cuts, really hurt the wrong people to some degree, and we won't do as well as we're going to do if we just allow this economy to grow and get this big, beautiful bill done.
All right. They said they're going to identify $2 trillion in cuts. We'll see about that. Congressman, it's always a pleasure to see you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff Van Drew is in New Jersey this morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back.